Okay, welcome back. I hope my video is visible and my audio is clear.
Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. Right. So we are talking about blockchain, right? The blockchain technology for storing and transmitting information, transparent, secure, decentralized, and operating without a central organ, right? Like that we are talking for the past 14 sessions, right? So we can say it is a kind of digital data management protocol, or we can say large, secure, and transparent database. So when we say this kind of register or decentralization or more security, or we can say a real time tamper proof, right, a cryptographic system, right, we are terming in several ways, and we are saying it is unalterable, or it is having a validation by proper way, right? So definitely we are having several categories in these sectors. Maybe transferring the assets, or we may do as a registry thing, or we may do as a smart contract things. But insurance, being one of the most conservative, centralized, and veiled industries, is awakening from its slumber and probing new technologies. Right? Its shy yet solid interest in innovations, particularly in blockchain, is powered by customers' increased distrust in centralized financial services, which has led to high rates of under insurance. See, driven by both curiosity and fear, insurance companies seek to hire blockchain developers to help uh, the companies to come out to such kind of issues. Of course, curiosity comes from blockchain because it is having a promise to save time and lower transactional cost. At the same time, in the insurance, having fear, this innovation, as it can open up new approaches for cyber attacks. Because as an Indian, we don't have much amount of experience of handling these things in period. This is a new technology. Obviously, the insurers are all having such kind of question in their mindset. But on the other hand, nearly, I am saying nearly 80% of insurance companies or executives already adopted or planning to pilot this BC technology, blockchain technology, in their business units. See, the level of trust, transparency, I said the immutability, right? That blockchain provide in a higher way. So let us see some areas, right, where we may possibly implement this blockchain, specifically in the insurance sector. How we can make it, or how the companies are already executing such kind of implementation. Let us see in the coming slides, right? So when we talk about this blockchain, everything is having its own positives and negatives, right? When we look as a whole, the world is having prediction of world changing technologies in few, right? You might hear, okay, Sendil Kumar is asked one more question. Do we have any data source database to know the list of cyber attacks? Okay, I will tell, right? Threats made on Indian companies. Yes, I will show. Please recall, remind me, so that I can show that slide. So when we talk about the technologies, some technologies are identified or forecasted as world emerging technologies. One thing is big data, of course. this banking, insurance field are dealing with numerous amount of data. So we cannot omit this sector. Artificial intelligence, as I said in the first session, it is part and parcel of our digitalization. Autonomous cars, it is not related to the specific FDP title, but it is comes under the category of data only. Again, we can talk about the VR and the AR. Of course, when we talk about the robot advisory system, it can be extended in the next level of how my investment will grow in the future, say within 10 days, within 15 days, or within 20 days, right? Again, we can improve the VR AR quality in the banking and the instrument sector also, right? This is, I am saying, a blind way, right? But still there are some researches are going. Of course, the last one, 3D printer. I didn't add this blockchain technology in the sixth one, right? These are the six world emerging or world changing technologies which are all identified. Among these six, blockchain is also one. The remaining five I posted here, right? Just for an information to the participants. So if you have been following banking, investing, or cryptocurrency, right, over the past 1 decade, I can say, definitely you may familiar with the blockchain, the records, the blocks, of course, the Bitcoin network, right? I think one separate session you had under the title Bitcoin. I hope so, right? So again, the blockchain is having its own definitions. I'm not going to say this blockchain is a distributed, decentralized public ledger, right? And it is having this positives, right? So when we talk about this blockchain, we cannot omit the Bitcoin. See, most of us are having such a confusion. Both are same or different. Bitcoin is working in the blockchain concept. The goal of blockchain is to allow digital information to be recorded and distributed, but not edited. This concept can be difficult to wrap our heads around without seeing the technology in action. That's what I told in the first session. We are all just having the theoretical knowledge. When we go for executing of creation of block, sometimes we may find difficulty. But over the period of time, by execution of these kind of things, it will come as a usual routine practice. It came, you know, the history when it came, who made this and what are the pupils involved, all those things you discussed in the previous areas. Similarly, mates, we may have some benefits, some negatives in this segment. When we say the positive things, we cannot omit of this accuracy or cost reduction, right? Or even we can say decentralization, etc. things. So no need of repeating this except a few, right? Since we are going to this insurance area, definitely we have to talk about the accuracy. The transaction in BC network are approved by a network of, I told, minimum of thousands of computers. People are saying that millions of computers, right? When it is connected through millions of computers, it is difficult to alter a block, right, which may be placed in a different location. That's what the decentralization is avoided here, right? Second, the cost reduction, the efficient transaction or private transactions, secure transactions, transparency. These are all we discussed several occasions, several ways, right? Then I told world-changing technology is blockchain, and it is also having some challenges. I don't want to use the term disadvantage, so that I put as a challenge. See, when we say blockchain, when we say record, when we say block, I told it is going to connect millions of computers, at least of thousands of computers. So at least the way it is being used today, it does. This BC relies on encryption to provide its security as well as establish conscious over a distributed network. This essentially means that in order to prove that a user has permission to write to the chain, especially in the case of insurance, right? So that the complex algorithm must be run, which in turn require large amount of computing power, right? I told it is going to utilize at least millions of computer to validate. Assume an insurer is having a claim, then the complex algorithm will run to check, validate millions of computer, which require more amount of computing power. Best example, we can say Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin is coming up nothing like that. The cost of Bitcoin comes around in more than 10 lakhs as on that date, single Bitcoin, which means it is having the entire history from which point it is started and how many transactions happen and what is the number of time it is changed the ownership. Like that, all the messages, all the data will be available. For validating that, it has to check millions of computer and it will make consumption of huge power. You know the power production in our country in the last year, it was 1352 terawatt hour. If you are comparing with the world energy production in the last year, the world energy production in the last year was 1,50,000 terawatt hour. Of course, India is not produced even 1% of the world energy production. But if you are looking the population level, we are having 1/5 of the world population. All the people are interested to live with comfortable, luxurious and high quality gadgets. So this might be a problem because when we allow electronic components to interact with energy, it will emit CO2 into a huge amount. Right. Second issue, we can say this as a FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? You might hear. Someone asked a question about the rules and regulation established by the government of India or RBI from the participants 2 days back, right? The lack of regulations is creating risky environment, right? Still, in our country also the problem is on board. When we go for connecting millions of computers, the complexity is going high. It is like a man on the street. Nobody knows where is the data, where is the origin, where is the transaction happening, who is the in charge. If I am getting a problem, to whom I have to approach, right? So it is having its own complexity. When we go for connecting millions of computers, if I am sure at least 1 or 2 participants did Bitcoin transactions, it will take validation time of some hours, at least 4 hours, 5 hours, like that. So this is slow. When we go for establishing these much of things, right, it is taking considerably more place for fixing the infrastructure. So these are all some few challenges. Of course, the CO2 emission, the infrastructure cost in the case of banking and insurance may overcome. Still, the researchers are undergoing. We are not able to predict as much as in a positive way as on that date, right? So these are all some challenges when we go for utilizing this world-changing technology blockchain as on that date. I hope you might hear this technology and the various classification like digital currencies, digital assets, smart contracts, identity. These are all happening because these are all secure, private, transparent, programmable, tamper-proof, and not repudiable. Of course, it is a ledger, it is shared, it is agreed for the additions. So it is positive sign, right? Why this blockchain is projected as a world-changing technology? Because of these reasons. Because it is a possible to implement in each and every place, each and every activity. It is having less amount of negatives than the others, so that it is called as world-changing technology, right? Why we are talking this particular world-changing technology blockchain? Why we are supposed to call, right? Or we can say, oh, why this blockchain in insurance? Or what for it is in insurance? Why we are supposed to implement this technology in insurance, right? See, when you talk about insurance, it has been around for several centuries. Maybe the terminology or the way of activities are different. As early as 1,000 years ago, right? You might heard about this. Chinese merchants, seafarers were pulling together their wares in collective funds that would help pay for the damages of any individual's capsized ship. That is a type of insurance. It is found several years back, right? It is available in our Indian also. We also did in different ways, right? But the terms are new. Terms are changing or updating frequently. So definitely we are required this kind of insurance term, right? Why we are required blockchain in insurance? If you are not if you are not doing, what will happen? See, first things first, let's define what blockchain is in the context of insurance. The blockchain technology is based on the distributed ledger, as we know in principle. That is eliminating the important category of intermediaries. This is one of the positive blockchain is in need of. Blockchain should be put into the insurance group. It will eliminate the need for intermediaries. The copies of the shared ledger are stored across multiple users' locations, providing any endorsed insured company or agent or broker or underwriter with access to the same source of data updated in real time. All the transactions registered on a blockchain are verified and encrypted, while all the changes to the records are published as additions to the original data. I am just rephrasing the definition of blockchain when I delivered in the first session, right? These are all verified and encrypted, right, with the additions. So the practical application can say like this. With the help of BC, we can take an example of medical record that can be encrypted and shared between hospitals and insurers. I can say in a case study, whenever we go for abroad, we used to take, right, international health insurance, travel health insurance policy, right? So in that sense, those medical records can be encrypted and shared between hospitals and insurers, right? Even across borders. So that the duplication, right, or the multiplication number of records or the length of claim processing, claim denials right? Excessive checkups can be avoided, right? So in that case, I told some banks like American Express or MoneyGram, which are all using the blockchain platform for transferring the money in across the border, right? In that sense, right? I want to say, okay, this screen is another example how we are developed these things. When we go for e-commerce economy is like this. When we go for sharing economy, and the examples are like this. And when we go for distributed economy, it will be like this. And the example I given as open bazaar. Later, participants may try to check it, this open bazaar also, right? So when we talk about the benefits, I told multiple times, it is going to reduce the costs and the complexity. Now you have to recall the world-changing technology blockchain challenge. I specifically mention complexity. Here I mentioned blockchain can reduce cost and complexity. A controversy statement I am making here, right? As a general, if you are looking blockchain, it is having more complexity. When you go for insurance, it is having less complexity, right? Because the platforms, are we going for public platform or private platform? If you are going private, the complexity will be reduced in a huge level, right? Then the errors, of course, zero error we can say as on the date, proven security, aid in auditability, and the proven resilience, shared trust transaction. These are all blah blah things about this insurance benefits when we go for implementing the blockchain. Of course, it is going to share data multiple parties. Specifically, insurance case means it is going to deal with hospitals, doctors. It is going to deal with the insurers. It is going to deal with the insurance companies. And if it is a multiple national corporation, if it is a high-level companies, then it may have several number of branches, several segment of people too, right? And multiple parties are going to update it in the case of insurance. First of all, the claimer will claim his requirement. The doctors will give their expectation and analysis data, and accordingly, the insurers will verify. Then the requirement of verification, then the intermediary add complexity, then interactions are time sensitive, as we know. For settling an insurance claim will take long process of involving so much of agencies. Of course, the transaction interactions. These are all the major reasons. Time consuming process, of course, more number of data involvement with the different type of parties in different locations, pushing the insurance companies to get into the blockchain technology, right? So if at least 4 years, definitely the effective way of increasing the efficiency of the company or insurance will be blockchain technology, right? Why? Why people are, why the insurance companies are caring about blockchain? The first reason, we can say peer-to-peer relationship. When we say peer-to-peer relationship, it focus shift from information held by individual person to information saved in a secured book shared across all verified members of the network. You please note verified members of the network, which shows it is not a public, it is a private one. The trust, when we say it is shared with verified members, you can recall the slide which I shown on the first session, trust. The trust will generate because of the involvement of DC, right? So it is called, we can say central authority. Instead of central authority, we can say trusted central authority. in the case of this peer-to-peer relationship. Then transparency, most of the cases you might hear about the same health insurance. Few hospitals debarred from the list of insurance companies because of their non-acceptable activity. Right? Those things are all happening because the data is getting manipulated. So here the things are in the block, and the blocks cannot be altered without permission. So in that sense, the transparency will be in a higher way. When it goes through the security way, when it goes to the proper chain way, when it is going for without making any alteration, definitely the security is also empowered. When I say security, you please recall the term cryptographic method. The transaction validation process is based on cryptographic method, right? So the decentralization architecture is a security, since every transaction needs to be validated by more than half of the blockchain network, which means, again, you recall, the millions of computers will be accessed for this validation, right? Then we can say disintermediation. That's what insurance companies are all jumping into that, because they can avoid a lot of expenditure from these things, right? So blockchain enables secured peer-to-peer transaction without trusted central authority. That's what the insurance companies are reaching or coming to take part in this particular venture. So the next poll is like this. Question is like this. Blockchain, okay, sorry. Blockchain enabled insurance market has been predicted to rise by 2023 will be, I will show the polling. Give me a moment. Poll number 4, yeah. First person polled as 65 million US dollar. I took half an hour so that making the participants to relax, I given this polling. Not only for checking your knowledge, I am not the person to check your knowledge. Very good. Some participants are very active. Okay. So this time people choose an highest level and very low level. Out of 72, only 12 participants polled so far. Please make it fast, guys. I think 14 people. The question is like this: blockchain enabled insurance market has been predicted to rise either 1.4 billion US dollar or 65 million or 10.5 billion US dollar. That's what the question. Okay. Similar to the previous polls, I can keep open of this poll also till end of the day. You can continue. We can discuss the remaining topics in this sector. Right. Next, application of blockchain in insurance. Right. So somebody asked, I think Mr. Sendil Kumar asked, Professor Sendil Kumar asked, sir, is there anything to refer the cyber attacks, right? Similarly, these kind of all forecastings or the past histories can be analyzed by several agencies. specifically the computer giants like Deloitte, Accenture, IBM, right? Even Google, Microsoft also, right? But you may easily identify these Accenture, Deloitte reports in the public forum, right? As per the Accenture survey in the last year, right? I told earlier itself, right? 80% of the insurance companies are already having the plan or jumped into this particular technology, right? So why they came inside, right? This because of many reasons which we discussed earlier. For example, we can say blockchain insurance industry initiative, which is called as B3I. You might hear somewhere, or you can make note and you can refer later. That is called Blockchain Insurance Industry Initiative, B3I in short, or we can say Institute's Risk Stream Collaborative, right? So they are all in the leading way of implementing this blockchain technology in the insurance screen. See why we are going to do this implementation in the insurance sector. The first one we can say fraud detection, right? Of course, fraud detection, not only fraud detection and risk prevention, right? By moving insurance claims onto an immutable ledger, blockchain can help eliminate common sources of fraud in the insurance industry, right? Second, we can say policy creation and claim processing. Here, the technology is enabling fast, accurate, of course, secure sharing of data among healthcare providers and insurers. So this will translate into faster health insurance claims to process, as well as lowering health insurance cost for customers. Why the insurance cost is getting high? Generally because of the expenditure of the particular concern or particular company. So if you are implementing such kind of things, the additional manpower can be reduced and the quick process will happen. And the third one, we can say streamline routine interaction. If you are looking the various financial sector, in the insurance, this BC can streamline time-consuming insurance process. It can eliminate paper-based contracts, right? Reducing turnaround time and detecting fraudulent claims. This particular aspect is much important. Of course, I told already about this risk prevention, right? But still, it is kept as a separate also. Then, on-demand insurance, right? People are having the habit nowadays, right? They want to plan and make insurance nowadays. People are choosing the insurance to buy at a particular moment. Most of, in my campus also, most of my colleagues purchased that corona insurance, health premium, health insurance on the spot, right, on a moment. Of course, the next one, property casualty insurance, right? Here, there is a scope in a huge level, right? This allow the policyholders to ensure digital track and manage policies. Of course, physical assets too, right? But here, the term comes around smart contract. When we go through the smart contract, definitely the audit will be a permanent and continuous one. Then the reinsurance, right? When I don't know how many of us familiar about that one. When we go for purchasing a car insurance, right? And if you are not making any accident, right? and we will get some bonus in the next year premium. That is applicable when we shift to the next insurance company too. Assume we are making an insurance for our car in the company X, and we didn't make, or we didn't, the car is not met with any accident. So the bonus is there. That can be claimed by making insurance to the Y insurance company too, right? So that kind of shiftings can be easily done without any questions. Then P2P insurance, peer to peer, I hope people can understand. Then the important one, micro insurance. Micro insurance basically because not successfully happening because of the trust. It required trust between peers, and it is not having transparency nowadays, right? But the small scale bankings are coming up nowadays, but not in a bigger way. And the last one which I want to say is parametric insurance, that is health insurance. It is for the purpose of detecting fraudulent claims. We can say the problem like this. Frauds in insurance, we can say both organization level as well as end user level, we have to solve. Some occasions, I told about the hospitals, right? Some hospitals. With insurers not truly invested in solving the fraud issue are also available. Here the approach is to solve the fraud which has always been less than the required amount. Why I am saying less than the required amount? It is not in the major level, but it is there. How it is happening? Can you say any assumption story in that case? How this fraud prevention can be happening, or how the fraud is happening in the way of claims? Any participants? Is there any possible? I can say one example. There is an insurance agency which is giving insurance for our electronic components. They are giving insurance for 3-year period of time. The insurance policy is like that. The insurer can claim fault of or non-working condition of any or repairing condition of any electronic gadget which he purchased, right, for the period of 5 years. The policy is for the period of 3 years, but the person can claim against the electronic component, electronic gadget, which is purchased within 5-year period of time on the particular specified date. You know what people are doing? People are going for purchasing the insurance first. After 2 to 3 months, they are going for making the claim. There we or the insurance company doesn't know whether the electronic component is in working condition on the date of insurance purchase or not. When we go for this kind of blockchain technology, the insurance or the insurer will give data in the block so that automatically the block will register the electronic gadgets purchase data as well as the service dates. By that way, they can eliminate such kind of false claims of insurance in the future. For this particular area, this AICTE is working in a huge way. If you are implementing their technology, some companies are already implemented. Let us see in the next one. When we go for talking about the policy creation as well as claims processing, again we can say the example of healthcare industry because it is having a huge scope, right? In this particular location, I'm sharing two screenshots. The first one is a macro look of the registration, the policy, the claim, the refund. These are the things the client is supposed to do. When it registered, we don't know whether the person is in hospital or not, right? When the policy issued, also we didn't know. When we came for the claim, right? Most of the occasions, the hospitals and the insurance companies are not connected digitally in most of the places. Suppose if you are capable of connecting those things, of course with the help of artificial intelligence. Here the connecting medium may be the insurer's mobile phone, the hospital data center. How we can make it? At the time of making the policy, the person will enter their AIC details. Along with that, we are making or getting the contact numbers or the mobile numbers of the specific person. But when we come to the country like India, where the population is in a huge manner, it is difficult to implement in such a way in a fast track. It will take time, but when it goes to the country like Singapore, it is feasible, right? So when these are all conventional models which I am showing, right? When we goes to the real way of implementing the blockchain, right? When we go inside the blockchain content, it will like this. We may have two areas. One area is client side and another area will be blockchain side. So these two areas will work together. When it comes the policy creation or claims process, right? The individual will, right, underwrites a trip insurance contract with the insurer. I think this is, I made it as a foreign trip, which I said earlier. A person wants to make a trip to abroad, wants to take a policy. In that sense, it will go to the blockchain side as a creation of smart contract, right? Then, as I said, when the insurer moves from one point to airport, automatically the data will be transferred to the blockchain data block so that the things will be registered automatically, right? These are all applicable for the business case people. You may ask, sir, how it is possible for a ordinary citizen of our country. Again, there are some execution difficulties, but over the period of time, it will be removed. Assume a person, a businessman, boarded in his car, all in a sudden he wants to make a trip to abroad, or all in a sudden he wants to make a air travel. So he was intended to take a insurance, so he is making the request online when he was in the car. As soon as he given the request through online, the blockchain is creating a smart contract and the block is created. Once he reached the airport, Based on the network through GPS system, the blockchain is getting the alert that the person is in the right track. So the insurance is getting activated. Right. When the person comes back, again based on the location, the things will be identified whether the person is doing the things in a proper way or not. Yes, the person is doing in a proper way, right? Nobody will activate without going abroad, right? So in that case, when he comes back, right, when he comes back to the home nation, automatically this will get disabled. So the machine or the algorithm will calculate the number of days the person stayed outside the country, and accordingly the premium will be detected. I said only the travel and coming back, travel to a particular place and coming back. Assume that in the case if he gets some sick while the person is in the abroad country, then he will go to the hospital, right? When he reaches the hospital, again the GPS will intimate the blockchain system that geographically the person is in the hospital. Right. Now the fraud claim may be happen. The person may not go, the mobile may go, right? We may say like that. There, the technology which we are using in the Apple's 10 Face ID will help us a lot. So this what some of the person asked in the first session. Sir, is there any databases to check this kind of things? Right. We are having sufficient number of databases, right? So we can keep on updating our model by using those data, especially in the health sector. So this is one way of operating procedure of implementing blockchain in insurance, specifically in policy creation and claims processing. Right. Next, like that, we can discuss in each and everything which I listed at the first slide, not first slide, in between slides. We can go for streamlining the routine interactions, because for example, I can say another case study. A family which is having two families having a family insurance, family health insurance for a husband, wife, and two kids. Right. After some time, they had another one kid, third kid. Right. When the third kid born, definitely the person will update the data. Right. So here the intermediator is blockchain. It is going to get data of the third kid birth from the hospital as well as from the insurer. So both side it is getting validate and it is getting update, and the block is made for the 5 persons of the particular family. So those kind of routine interactions can also be updated in case if you are utilizing the blockchain. Now people may ask question, sir, without blockchain also, by using artificial intelligence, by using the machine learning algorithms, right? Why can't we do? We can do it. Again, I can refer the question raised by the participant, the cyber attacks. When we think of cyber attacks, it is always happening in the data center or in the cloud. Maybe a few of you read the news which came few weeks back. 70 lakhs Indians credit card and other details along with password are sale in the darknet website. Fortunately, their bank account number is not available. That is only thing missing, right? Like that, some cases are coming up. Suppose if you are going for blockchain, the data will not be stored in the centralized place. It will be stored in variety of place. So there may be a chance of reducing such kind of mass cyber attacks to the data. Maybe few data may be theft. The few data can be still, not in the bulk number, right? So EY is leading in this particular streamlining routine interactions area, right? Then the next one, we can go for the risk prevention, right? Again, we can compare with the same trip to the abroad countries, so that we may avoid such kind of defects or problems in these segments. Again, this IBM and Vouch for Me are the top leaders doing these kind of implementations in a huge level. In the past, maybe I can say more than 3-4 years, right? Then and then on-demand insurance, I will show the video later. Then, okay, property and casualty insurance. When we talk about the casualty insurance, right? Uh, Assume that there is a problem in our business, right? This is also a hot topic in our country as on the date. Assume a farmer is insured his crop, right? In that situation, again, there is a smart contract, right? Why and what purpose the farmer is insured his crops? In case if there is a drought, right? I have to get something. I have to get some of my investment. That is the intention. The farmer made such kind of insurance, right? In that scenario, he given where his farming land is available. Definitely, the blockchain can receive rainfall data of the specific geographical area, right? So automatically the data will be captured. No need of going and referring multiple people. Why? This particular block is connected with such and such agencies' day-to-day activities. So when and where the geographical region receives sufficient amount of rain, it will be updated continuously in the blocks. So in that sense, right? In that sense, assuming, for an example here put as 15 consecutive days without rain. Assuming that the crop is needed at least water once in 15 days, right? That will be the rule, right? That will be the mutual agreement between the insurer as well as the farmer, or we can say threshold. Where we are going to keep this threshold, we are going to keep it in the machine learning algorithm, right? So what will happen if it is not having if it is not having rainfall for 15 consecutive days, the block will automatically triggers for compensation. So now you think of how much time, how much effort will be saved by the citizens, by the individuals. Once the triggered, right, then the bank or the insurance will automatically reimburse or sanction the mutually agreed beneficial amount. So this is the cyclic of blockchain implementation process in case if you are implementing in the insurance sector in such and such case, right? Next. So these are all some companies already in the market. Alliance, go-to solution, Insureware, or some of the companies which are all done in a bigger way, right? So if you are talking about this go-to solution, I can say something. They made it as a very simplified way of auto insurance, right? This alliance, I think they partnered with the EY, and the Insureway also coming up in a great way, right? Next one we can say about reinsurance, because it is a big part of insurance industry as on date, right? Why? They protect the insurers and protect their interest when natural disasters takes place. So, sorry, the reinsurance is more important for the people. Often we hear that my insurance expired a day back, but today only I got the problem. Right? Just like insurance helps people to mitigate risks and manage unexpected life events, the reinsurance also does the same for insurance, right? For insurers, reinsurance is all about mitigating risks when the odds are against them. Best example I said as natural disasters. Of course, in my state, Kerala, people had such kind of experience in many occasions, right? Two companies are trying to solve this issue. One is InsureX and another one is B3I. I hope you people can recollect the term B3I, which I mentioned a few slides back, right? Then we can talk about next one. Okay, micro insurance, right? So when we talk about micro insurance, I told it is not in a bigger way in our country, but this is also mostly required for our Indian citizens, especially in this corona situation, right? See, this micro insurance policies deliver profits only when distributed in huge volumes. Because of low profit margin and high distribution cost, despite immediate benefits, micro insurance policies don't get the deserved traction. Name itself, we can understand micro insurance, which means we are supposed to give it in a huge volume with incorporating or involving of many number of people or businesses. Maybe the amount will be less. Because of the lower amount, the margin will be definitely less. So when we go for dealing with higher volume of people, right, then we may think of it. Here, in this case, right, we can the researchers or the companies or these kind of MNCs are saying Oracle. You might heard about Oracle, which is having a strong database for the past several decades. This Surety.ai is using this kind of technology to offer micro insurance, especially in the Asian places. Then we can talk about something about peer-to-peer insurance, right? Like that, we can go one after another. Then my interesting area of parametric health insurance. See, the major issue, right, in the health industry, which includes non-access to patients' data due to confidentiality. We don't like to reveal our health condition to any third party other than our close circle family members. So this leads to lack of information or data required to the claim insurance, which costs both hospital as well as the patient. So any patient dealing with health issue is bound to visit multiple doctors across his lifetime. Am I right? This leads to issues when sharing information from one doctor to another. Overall, everyone in the healthcare industry ecosystem, including insurers, providers, and patients, suffer from glaring issues. Most of the time, a healthcare organization will store the information to their own silos rather than share it with other service providers. Also, there is an issue of duplicate or error information that gets stored without any form of rectification process, maybe due to the unexperienced or non-care people employed in that particular place. Non-usage of such connective framework also means more administrative overhead, right? Being a management professional, we can understand the problem. So in short, there are two significant problems with the healthcare, which affect healthcare insurance directly and most of the times indirectly, right? So rigid privacy laws mean information cannot be shared seamlessly among healthcare institutes. Outdated backend infrastructure also has this MHR, medical health records sharing. What is the solution? Again, this cryptographically secured network. Here I given the example, a father, right, underwrites a life insurance with his insurer by designating as beneficiaries his wife and 2 children. Right. As usual, the smart contract will be established. Right. In that situation, the names of the insurers, it is mandatory, right? Names of the insurers. Okay, Sendil Kumar mentioned about the bogus claims. Okay, sorry, I seen now only. So, in that case, the names of the insurers beneficiaries will be verified. Here, we can think of different type of algorithms, right? Which can be convert the image to not only text, image to, right? So the data will be entered into the block, or the block will be altered with the data. Okay, this case already I told. Okay, one more birth is happened in that particular father. Birth happened for the particular family. So definitely the beneficiary name has to be updated with the newborn baby, right? So that will be comes to the smart contract from the hospital also, from the user also, from the beneficiaries also. So here we have to give choices to all the people, right? When we give choices to all the people, assume that if you are giving the hospital, definitely they will give the right data. If you are giving the father, then definitely he will give a proper data. Suppose if you are giving the right to the beneficiaries, the data may or may not be perfect due to the sharing of their properties. We can say, we can think in a negative way in that sense, in that case, right? In that sense, the algorithm, the machine learning algorithm will choose, right, right, the best one, right? Accordingly, we have to set the algorithm. Otherwise, it will reject. If there is one mistake, one negative person, definitely the machine will not respond positively. That's what I told in the robo advisory system. The robo advisors are not having much interaction to the users. In that sense, right? In that sense, we have to update the data, update the algorithm, update the model continuously. Then only it will go for executing in a positive, perfect way, right? So when the occurrence of a birth, it is going to enter into the smart contract automatically, so that the sales rep or the agent contact to the insurers to confirm the change of the beneficiaries. Once the system triggers, the person has to verify, right? So here also the human involvement is there, but not in a huge way. No need of going to the hospital in this case. The agent may not need to go to the hospital to verify about the birth of the newborn baby, right? So the contract will be updated, and in the case of occurrence of any deaths, then definitely it will trigger to the beneficiaries, right? You might heard about this name Medrec. It's a very popular company which is involved in solving these kind of issues by in implementing this blockchain technology, right? So what I want to say is, in the case of insurance, if you are implementing this blockchain technology, definitely the things will be purified and the flow will be in a positive way, so that the things will happen in a happiest way. So the insurance companies can build more complete customer profiles and eliminate duplicate records. The customer will get visibility into what data their insurers have on them. So the blockchain helps automatically verify third-party claims or payments, right? So these are all the things which we can expect if you are implementing this technology in the insurance sector. Okay, I hope you might hear this device, e-call device, which is a mandatory thing in European Union. Of course, in our country and the states like Kerala is already implemented in the taxis. The taxis should have this GPS system. When and where the driver exceeds the speed limit, it will give the warning. If the driver is not bothering about the warning, definitely the matter will be conveyed to the nearest emergency center place, so that the driver will be monitored by them, and if at all needed, they will take actions. Similarly, the European Union is implemented these e-call devices. All the vehicles are having this setup. If the vehicle met any accident, an auto call will be sent to the emergency evacuation center, so that the accident people will be recovered fastly. So the human lives will be saved in a huge manner. Here, if the call or if the trigger goes to the insurance company also means, right? Then it is very simple. That too, if we are making this through blockchain technology, then the data will not be altered by any people. The safety will be also ensured. So this is an existing system which is not involved in blockchain technology, but for easy understanding of the participants, I am saying in such a way. In the existing e-call device, it is having the habit of making automatic call to the evacuation team when the vehicle met accident. If you are adding one more module at the same time of communicating to the evacuation team, if it is communicated to the insurance company too, will reduce the work, reduce the cost in a huge manner, right? So the participants who belongs to computer science or non-management category people, those who are interested in coding and executing software, hardware things, can think of it to do such kind of projects. It is not simple. It took almost 13 years, more than a decade it happened to make it realize, right? This is the flow of these e-call devices in European Union. Recently, Tamil Nadu government also came out such a notification that all the rented vehicles should have such kind of GPS system in their vehicle. But it is not implemented in 100%. Maybe in the coming years it will happen. Similarly, some other states also come up with such kind of activities. But if you are going with blockchain and connecting these kind of agencies together, will eliminate a lot of time period, right? Okay, one more polling. This is an interesting one, right? A line of quotes in Facebook is about, because so far we discussed only the things related with management people. We didn't talk anything about the computer people. Both are having equal number here as per the poll. When I say line of quotes, we are often using this Facebook, right? I hope everyone will agree. How many lines of the coding in the Facebook? Again, I am saying about the problem of environmental. When and where we use this kind of computers, electronic gadgets, which are allowed to interact with the energy, it will emit a huge amount of CO2 into the environment, right? So the persons belongs to computer science, those who are intended to do software development in multiple places by the involvement of blockchain technology. Please take care. You reduce the line of codes as much as possible. If you are making more number of line of codes, again it will take long time of accessment to the energy, so it will emit CO2 into the environment hugely. To avoid, to keep the environment in a safe guard, right? We cannot avoid of implementation of this AI, ML or blockchain or digitalization, but we can do it by reducing such kind of things, right? So as I told, 8, 10, 12 people completed. I can keep open of this poll also till end of the day. We can continue it. So some of this what I told, whatever I said, all related with computer. If you are using the computers, it is making the environment in a bad way by emitting CO2, irrespective of the components, whether it is desktop or laptop, or even just to plug into the power point in the standby mode, right? Of course, it is very component to component, but we have to take care. Of course, if we are having the habit of verifying or using the mail in our day-to-day activities, assuming if you are using 20 emails per day over the period of a year, it is equivalent to the travel by a car about 1,000 kilometers, right? So please take care that also. Similarly, the router. Similarly, large data center, of course, the banking and insurance sectors are using large data centers. It is almost equivalent to, yeah. Senthil Kumar, what you said is correct. Blockchain is criticized for more use of energy. I told it on the beginning itself. Some challenges in the world-changing technology blockchain. The first I told environmental conscious, and I told the world energy production as 1,50,000 terawatt hour, and our energy production in India is 1,252 terawatt hour, not even 1% of the world energy production. If you are using the computers, then it will consume huge energy, and 138 crore plus people in our country are interested to use more amount of gadgets, that too connected with computer. In that sense, it will consume more energy. When it consumes more energy, it will emit the CO2 in higher level, right? So similarly, when we go for searching the web address, we always Google, right? That is also, if it is giving thousands of search results, it is equivalent to 9.9 kg of CO2 emission in a year, right? So like that, browsing the web is giving problem. So this is what I told. When we do surfing or when we checking internet, it is consuming more energy, right? So in that sense, the world energy production in the 2018, 6 to 10% is consumed by the ICT tools, right? Nowadays, country like India are suffering with the pollution problem, and when we say pollution, definitely it includes CO2 also, right? Greenhouse gas also. So the total energy production in the world is almost 1/10 of the percentage utilized by the gadgets, and it is hiking 5 to 7% every year, and it is a bad signal. Let us hope the best. When we talk about the stock, when we talk about management system, banking, insurance, we cannot avoid the stock. There are several stocks in blockchain itself. You might interest to do business in this Intercontinental Exchange, Square, Galaxy Digital, Silvergate. Might be these names are not familiar to you, but the top two persons, one is Intel, you might hear well, and Canon. These are the top blockchain stocks as per US news in the last year, right? Then comes, okay, why it's coming? Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm not going to change, describe about the change management model. If you want to make changes, definitely we should have these parameters. Being a management person, I assume myself that you people are having these understandings, right? So when we talk about this ADKR model, any person or any individual should have these parameters like awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. It is not sufficient to take decisions from people side alone. The organization side alone, organization side also needed to ensure the business need, concept design, implementation, post implementation, etc. things. right? So if it is goes like a rail wheel, then definitely we may able to run the day-to-day life in a most happiest way. So okay, this is prediction of IoT usage. I am not going to talk about ethics due to the shortage of time, except one slide. Assume this is our plan. We are planning to implement blockchain technology in banking and insurance is our plan, right? So whether our plan is technically possible 100%, I am not sure. Whether it is legally possible, never. Then where is ethics? This is the real, right? I am sure more than 60 participants are present here, and whether all 60% are having the plan of implementing blockchain in banking and insurance or in management category of any activity in the coming years. Definitely, technically not feasible for few people, legally not feasible for few people, ethically also not feasible for many people. So when we look in a whole, the ethics is in a minor level. So I urge all the participants, whatever the activity you carry out, please look the ethical also, right? You try to make it possible in the coming days. Why I am saying is always the human values are having the rights, right? Law, social norm, social contract, the right to work. These are all the terms which often we are using. When we go for using this technology like artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT, right, the data analytics, definitely the expectations and evaluations will differ. In that situation, we have to consider the ethics also. So don't to be in ethical dilemma. Most of us, when I say us, including me, the situations makes us to take a decision. But ethical issue is different than the ethical dilemma. First, you have to come out from the ethical dilemma, then only we may think of ethical issues. When we talk about this technology, specifically artificial intelligence and machine learning, along with blockchain technology, we are having these kind of ethical issues, right? Any website that demonstrates the real working of smart contract insurance virtual demo, yeah, it is available. I can share with you. You can contact me. I will share the link to you, right? So we are having some ethical issues in the case of technology implementation. For few examples, I can say PayPal, Citicorp. I can understand that some of you might know this mafia boy, right? He used to hack the big giants like CNN. Even he hacked the Citicorp, right? So like that, some ethics problems are there. We know well. We discussed a lot in our past year about Cambridge Analytica and Facebook. These are all like the black box. We don't know what the machine is doing. Specific case, we can say robo advisory, right? And the machine is taking a decision. What basis the machine taken a decision, the consumer or the user doesn't know. So if you are making those things in an open way, then it is easy to attract more amount of people. So these are all some future ethics coming up, autonomous cars, because rigorously the researchers are going. So probably these issues can be addressed in the coming days. Then the major issue is top bots. Being a banking professional or insurance professional, always or most of the occasions we are giving reply to the consumer or user only through these bots, right? Whether the bots are prepared and trained and the model is updated frequently, otherwise it won't give answer properly. Even most of us are having the experience of calling the call center, and it will goes to the bots and it will say you dial 1 2 3 4 like that, right? And it will consume more amount of time. It won't understand our urgency, right? Similarly the bots too. So we have to take care of creating such kind of issues, that is called ML, machine learning ethical issues. If you are doing this kind of open source data bias, algorithmic bias, right? Bias in face recognition, and one person asked about this NLP, right? Or credit score computation, etc. Things can minimize or reduce. I cannot say it will complete it. It will reduce it, right? In that sense, how we are going to execute our day-to-day life, that will be the question. And somebody is asked. By the meantime, I given a poll in the message box. That will be the last poll. So somebody asked about this cyber threats. It started several decades back by the term password guessing, and recently we are having this ransomware things, right? So it can be classified like this: individual computer, network computer, and now whatever the device connected. So when I said the blockchain, I can say one more example. We are all having the habit of wearing the smartwatch, right? Which will automatically detect our health condition, and it will trigger also. Suppose if the smartwatch connected with the insurer, right, and the hospital, just to think how it will be, right? So we are having some acts in our country: IT Act 2000, Cyber Crime Prevention Act 2012. As per the as per the IT Act 2000, Section 43, if anybody is touches without the permission of other system, will liable to pay by the way of up to 1 crore rupee. So don't think that in our country, India, we don't have such kind of acts. We are having, but we are not rigid to implement these kind of things as of now, right? So future, the predictions are like this. Government is also coming up. Yesterday, someone asked about whether the government of India is having such kind of role. I can say you might hear about PFMS, right? Public Financial Management Service. There is a pilot thing is going on, right? Pilot work is going on. It is announced by the concerned minister 2 months back, right? So it is also having trillion-dollar protocols. It is identity for all, because even the Aadhaar card can come through this blockchain. The world trade will be happen in the blockchain within the next 10 years. Blockchain for good for everything. These are all the future of blockchain technology predictions, right? So hope we can make a fantastic life in our future. So all the things can be mapped in human values. When you map with human values, definitely we have to consider the cost. So someone asked, I think Sendal Kumar asked the cost of the product, infrastructure cost, right? So secondly, the global warming potential as well as secondary environmental impacts. These are all few things people will often compare. So as an academician, we know this term Bloom's taxonomy. We try to give a new taste or a combined multiple fruit taste, right, in the banking and insurance sector by implementing blockchain, AI, as well as the fundamental things. Let all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them, right? So I am not asking your SWOT analysis, but if you are interested to implement this blockchain technology, then definitely you should have a white paper which mention your strength, weakness, opportunity, challenges of blockchain technology implementation in banking and insurance. If anybody is having, or if anybody is intended to do further project research in this area, please come to me. We can make some collaborative research, but only condition you have to come with the white paper, right? As I mentioned. So this is my career philosophy. As my career philosophy, always interested in ethics and environment, but of course transforming student engineers into practicing engineers. Family first, student always. Ethics and environment is my family, right? Right. Often we people are hearing that, sir, I am doing all the things, but I am not happy. I am doing everything to my family, but my family is not happy, right? If you want to check your happiness index by your own, you can check it. I given some sample words on the left and right. You can put those sample words one after another in any one of the box, either open pan or blind pan or hidden pan or unknown pan. The words should not be put in multiple boxes. It should put only in any one of the box, right? You can debate with your family member or you can debate with yourself and make it. After making or after dropping all the selected words. Here I given choices as 54 words. If you want, you can choose 500 or 1000 according to you. Your interest is nano level, you can go for more number of words. If you are at macro level, you go for at least with these 54 words. After dropping all the words in the appropriate boxes, you count it, you will get some number. While getting some number, if the numbers in unknown pan is less and open pan is in high, means you are having more amount of happiness. Your happiness index is higher, right? If you are having different numbers, if the numbers differ from the slide presentation, you have to change your activities, then only you can go for making happiness among you first, then your family, right? uh, P. Kalaikannan asked, sir, may I know what is the presentation software? I used only the MS Office. The best software in the world is MS Office, which I can say. The Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access will make wonders to do, right? In terms of database, in terms of Word, in terms of accounts, in terms of presentation too. Only thing we have to check it. Lakhs and lakhs of provisions are there, right? So if you want to increase your happiness index, you please refer The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy, because I feel strongly that without happiness we cannot make the things well. And another one, The Indian Author Who Will Cry When You Die by Robin Sharma, right? So you can simplify the life by using the blockchain, the demonstration video, which I sent the past 2 sessions are explaining with 5 minutes. This is a prototype model. And you are now able to choose which. Yes, Bharti Motwani, I will share the PPT in read-only form to the coordinators. They will forward to you. All right. This is implemented in USA now. I hope you are hearing the audio also. Go ahead and click Get Started, and go ahead and choose to sign. Enter your signature here. And you notice your signature shows up here. It's as simple as that. You've now signed your lease. We're going to take this lease, record it in DocuSign associated with your account, as well as record out on the blockchain that this lease has been signed. But before you can drive, the next thing for you to do is to go ahead and get insurance. Which one of these insurance policies would you like?
I think I'm going to take the biggest policy.
All right, let's DocuSign your insurance contract. We're now going to draw up a contract. Again, you didn't have to go out and find an insurance agency. We brought it right to you within the car. You can see all of the information about your insurance contract here. And we have a signature on file. Go ahead and sign if you're okay with this. Great. So you now actually have a lease and you have insurance. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to pay with your Visa card. So what's really great about this card is your Visa card lives inside of the car. So you don't have to pull it out to be able to pay for the things that you pay for, like tolls and parking. So let's go ahead and add your Visa card to this car. All right, you see it there. The car now is able to pay for tolls, car maintenance, music service, and any of the other kinds of bills you might expect that you would encounter while you're driving along. Now, your car is going to pay for the lease and the insurance, and also be set up to pay for other things. So you've now paid for your lease and your insurance. Let's go ahead and take this car for a test drive.
Okay.
All right. So here you can see how your car checks to make sure that the lease is valid and that the insurance is valid. And as you drive, what's amazing is tolls are automatically paid for. You can see that if you were to shop at a restaurant, your car would pay for that. You wouldn't have to whip out plastic to be able to pay for stuff. Visa is taking care of all that. Okay, and these are the references which I referred for today's second session. Whenever you have the free time, you can refer it. You can read it. These are all fantastic. The things, this technology is already started implementation in many places, right? Only thing, we have to accept and adopt this technology. It is only in our hand. We have to move it fast. Okay, thank you for your patient listening. I will share surely Bharti Motwani. Thank you for over to the coordinator.
Thank you, sir. It was indeed a wonderful session, and you are so lucid.
Nice session.
You are so lucid, simple, and powerful in explaining the things. Many thanks for that. And to propose formal vote of thanks for this session, I now request our department research scholar, Ms. Kanaga. Ms. Kanaga, over to you. Ms. Kanaga, over to you. You can.
Good afternoon, everyone. I feel happy in having an opportunity to thank this gathering. At the outset, I express my deep sense and gratitude to Dr. P. Muruganandam, Registrar, Sankhet Group of Institution, Kerala, for having enlightened us on this topic, FinTech and banking and insurance. I thank you, sir, for sparing your precious time. It's pleasure listening to you. Thank you. Next, I thank the head faculty members and research scholars of our department for their support in organizing this online activity. Above all, I thank the enthusiast participants for their active participation and support. I thank one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kanaga. Sir, I must say that all the participants were so appreciative of this session. They have shared a fantastic feedback. And if you have time, we can, if possible, can we go for 2 to 3 feedback from the participants, sir? Shall we? Shall we take, sir?
Afternoon, I am having one more session.
Okay, sir. Carry on. That's the reason why I was not included in the. Thank you, sir. It was pleasure listening to you.
Definitely, we will meet in some other occasion.
Sure, for sure, sir.
Whoever is having interested to continue discussion, right? I posted my contact details, or and the coordinator can create a
We will
WhatsApp
share
group.
it, sir. Yeah.
We can create a no. I don't want all the data. So, okay, you can create a WhatsApp group with the interesting faculty or interesting participants. We can continue this discussion for the next say 1 year or 2 years, so that at least a few of us may come up with some projects.
Sure, for sure. Thank you. Thank you. It was pleasure listening to you. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Dear participants, an announcement. As you are aware, we now request you to join for the afternoon session by 2:30 sharp, and further to the last session. And we have a valedictory function. On that, our director of this FDP will address you. Thank you. We sincerely look forward to all your participation by all your presence by 2:30. Thank you. Thank you all.